it's very strong in my mind. That was the Knuckles range.
Yeah.
And now everybody goes to the Knuckles. They go to Riverston. They go
Yeah.
this way and that way. But at that time, and we were young and all that.
Yeah.
And yeah, you've got to be a little fit. You've got to be a little
Yeah.
adventurous because to do all this. And, we had the famous leechers that.
So today I have an individual who is I'm literally the embodiment of grit and never giving up. The one, the only Johann Peries. Hi Johann, how are you doing?
Hi.
Hi, great to have you here. How are you? Before we get into it, let's just talk about how are you doing? How are things right now? You just got back from a great adventure. So how are you right now?
Well, slowly getting back into normal life.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a process when you do something like this and come back. It
Yeah.
takes a little while to get back into normal life.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm getting there.
That's understandable, right? So, Johan, I want to ask before we get into the nitty gritties of things, a little bit about your background and how you actually got to being a mountaineer. It's not something an everyday person does. How does one become a mountaineer? How do you move into that?
I don't know if there's something that you have to do to become a mountaineer.
Yes.
I think it is just a passion that you have within
Yeah.
you. And for me, it was my father
Yeah.
who instilled the idea of sort of, going
Yeah.
and doing adventurous stuff. And he used to take me when I was small
Yeah.
and go and climb the different mountains because at that time, this is some time ago, and at that time, hiking and
Yeah.
mountain climbing and all that wasn't a big thing here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we used to go and discover new areas, new places and mountains that we could climb. And that's how I built up the interest first of all. And
Yeah.
then I thought I should take this further.
Okay, that's
because
lovely.
I loved doing it and being out there in nature.
Okay.
There's so much that you discover. There's so much that you can learn. And to me, that was amazing.
Okay, that's
So
lovely.
I just want to take it to a different level.
Lovely. So, do you remember the first mountain that you conquered, like the first time?
Yes.
Or what was that mountain? What was that feeling like the moment you realized I'm about to do this? Or can we go back in time to that moment?
Yeah, so that was it's very strong in my mind. That was the Knuckles range.
Yeah.
And now everybody goes to the Knuckles. They go to Riverston. They go
Yeah.
this way and that way. But at that time, there were not very many people who did that. And I
Yeah.
remember some of my father's friends were laughing and saying, just take them off Marthaland and just show them the Knuckles range, then they might not want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was a crazy idea.
Yeah.
But we actually got hold of some villagers to take us to the top there, and we did all 5 peaks.
Okay.
And it took us about 3 days. We actually camped out there.
Okay. Okay.
At one point, we had to even cut the path through where we
Oh.
had to go because there was no path.
Okay.
And I was still in school. So this was very exciting for me.
So, how
you know.
old were you when you did this?
I must have been about 16.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I must have been about 16, 15 or 16. And my father was somebody who really gave us the opportunities, took us out there
Yeah.
and really sort of, threw us into the deep, as it were,
Yeah.
for us to experience
Okay.
the outside world. And unlike nowadays where you have your phone and that's all you do, it's a little different.
It's a little bit different, and
Yeah.
that's lovely. And now, when you said that you had to cut through the path and camp out for 3 days, what sort of preparation goes into being a mountaineer? The training, the basically the preparation that goes in before you do that. Like, what sort of preparation do you have? Is that
So
a specific set?
that was very different to what I do now.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that time I was in school and we were young and all that.
Yeah.
And yeah, you've got to be a little fit. You've got to be a little adventurous because to do all this. And, we had the famous leechers that keep
Yes.
hanging onto you. So you've got to sort of take precaution for that. We didn't have everything that we have now. We didn't
Yeah.
have the facilities.
Yeah.
The leech socks that you have. We didn't even have tents at that time. Yeah, I remember we made our own tent.
Okay.
We actually, my dad and I got together and another 2 friends. Yeah, there was a Japanese guy as well. We got together and made our own tent before we went.
Okay.
So it was very different then, but now it is very different because everything is available for us. Yeah, things have really changed and developed over time. So it's a completely different
Aspect now.
process.
Okay,
Yeah, that
process
we
now.
have to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that we go through now. Yeah.
So, what is the process now look like? Like, do you still, train constantly to handle that kind of altitude when you climb the bigger mountains? And what's the mental preparation look like? Like, it's not an easy task to do.
No, it isn't. And I think the mental preparation is gathering information as much as you can.
Yeah.
Talking to people. So we don't have people who do hike mountains here, not many
Yeah.
actually. We don't have. So we have to then look for people outside. We have to get the right companies that we're going to go with, like what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to search for the right company, do some research, find the people, learn how to deal with that, learn how to deal with altitude. How do you prepare yourself?
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all a process that you have to go through, and it takes a long time, and it
Yeah.
takes a bit of commitment as well.
Okay.
So that is the process that you have to go through,
Okay.
the preparation.
All right. So another question that I had for you was, now when it comes to climbing the higher mountains like Everest and what you just recently conquered, Denali, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right,
Okay.
yes.
So I know there's a process that you have to be in touch with the local government authorities as well, because
Yes.
not everybody is allowed to take that hike and take that
Correct,
climb.
yeah.
So what's that process like for those who are interested, like who's watching right now, who'd want to be, who'd want to know what it's like to get to that point of being able to make that hike, being able to climb?
So I think what you should do is first identify where you want to go.
Yeah.
And then there are the different companies that take you up. So doing it individually is something that I wouldn't advise, because we don't know the processes that you have to go through.
Yeah.
There are, permits that we have to get from the authorities and all that. Then the training process, how you
Yeah.
prepare yourself, what you actually have to expect when you get there. I think if you choose the right company,
Yeah.
and if you choose the right organization to go with, then you're in good hands.
Yeah.
Because you're given the right advice, you can prepare yourself in advance. They even guide you through the whole preparation process. Now, this Mount Denali, there was the owner of the company. I went with a company called AMS,
Yeah.
Alaskan Mountaineering School. And he actually has a one-on-one interview with you
Okay.
to
Okay.
see what you've done before, to see whether you're worthy of this.
Oh.
Yeah, because Mount Denali is really challenging.
Yeah.
And it, in a way, is more challenging than Everest. I keep saying that it's been more challenging for me than climbing Everest.
Okay.
Because Everest, everything is there for you. You have the Sherpas, of course, the company takes you through the whole process. But here, we don't have help.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have only the two guides. Everything else has to be done by us. We have to carry 50 to 60 kilos up the mountain.
Okay.
So, are you ready for that?
That is the
That's
question.
what they actually ask you.
Okay. Lovely.
And they get you to do things. We have to dig the ice, to cache our stuff there.
Yeah.
So he actually tells you, you got to start digging. And I actually went to the beach and I started digging with a shovel because, I had to prepare myself.
Yeah.
We don't have snow here.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I had to do the next best thing, go
The
to the
beach.
beach and do that.
Okay, lovely. Now Denali you have a long history with Denali. You've tried this twice and you finally succeeded. Let's talk about the first two times you tried the mountain, right? What was that experience like? Why? I'm assuming you turned back the first two times.
Yes, so Denali is one of the most challenging mountains in terms of weather as well, because there are 4 different types of weather patterns that
Oh, okay.
affect the mountain and the entire range. You're also close to the Arctic, so all that has an impact on the mountain. And both times, that once in 23, where I was turned back again because of bad weather. And see, once the weather turns, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that weather pattern can just continue right throughout, and then there's no point in you staying there.
Yeah.
And then we have only a few days. There are a number of days that you're given there, right? Because the facilities that you have, everything that you have taken, the provisions that you have taken, are for a number of days. So if you miss that, you've got to turn back.
You got to turn back.
And then in 25, we got right up to the high camp, and we were stuck at high camp for 6 days.
Oh, was it the
with-
weather?
It was a storm.
Oh, okay, a snowstorm.
It was a snowstorm,
Okay.
and there were a couple of blizzards that came in. So we were in the tents for 4 days, 4 of us in a tent for 6 days. And that was also trying.
I can imagine. I'm assuming it's a small space.
It is very small. There's no room to move. 4 of us had to lie down in 4 different angles.
Okay. Okay.
Right? And after a while, you start getting on each other's nerves as well.
Yeah,
It starts getting to you.
Yeah, definitely.
And, there are all kinds of emotions that you go through. There's frustration because you can't get out. So it's a whole process. It's a whole challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
then I had to turn back again. They
the
closed
second
the
time.
mountain and said, "That's it, we
That's
are
it.
done."
Okay,
Yeah.
unfortunate. But this third time, you finally conquered the mountain that has turned you back twice, and not without casualty to yourself. I'm seeing your fingers right now. Can we talk a little bit about that? I don't want to take you back to that moment, but
No, no, it's just
I
something that
want to
happens.
ask frostbite. I think it's a common thing that you might face when you're climbing such a hazardous mountain, if I do say so myself.
So that's the one thing they warn you about
Yeah.
even before you go. We have a meeting at the
Mm-hmm.
rangers. The rangers give you a bit of advice.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing they tell you is be careful of frostbite because that can completely shut down your whole expedition.
Yeah.
Not just for you, but for the whole team.
Yeah.
And I am very careful because I'm very susceptible to frostbite.
Mm-hmm.
I've had it before on
Okay.
Everest. And I was really careful, and I actually don't know when this happened, but it was after came down.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
after you had conquered the mountain.
we got to the summit, and the same day we had to come back down. It was about 5.5 hours down, and it was about 1:30 in the morning. So at some point when we came back, we were so tired. All we wanted to do was take out our boots, take out our spikes, and just go and get into our sleeping bags and go to sleep because
Yeah.
we were really tired. And at that point, I removed my big gloves. I have 2 layers of gloves, and my fingers were warm, so I feel that the inner glove may have been slightly wet and may have frozen.
Oh, okay.
And that's what would have happened. And couldn't have been more than about 3 minutes or 4 minutes
so
maximum.
it's very quick.
It's very fast. It may have been about minus 30, minus 35 that
Okay.
day. I remember it was very cold. And fingers froze. And the next morning, I suddenly found my fingers getting stiff. And I looked at it, and they were turning blue.
Okay, so you don't feel it when it sets
No, it
in.
goes numb.
It goes numb.
It
Okay.
just goes numb, and you think it's temporary. But
Okay.
it could be
It could
worse.
be worse. It could be permanent, and
Yeah.
I'm glad you've gotten a bit lucky. You told me earlier that you are
Yes.
healing now, so that's great to hear.
Yes.
And the question that I had to ask was, so you realized this after you came down to the
Yes.
mountain, so you didn't know
Not completely off the mountain.
off
We are
the
still
mountain.
at high camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you didn't really know if you had it when you were climbing up. So
No, I
you-
didn't have it for sure. I know that for sure. I
Okay.
knew that it happened only after I came back to
Okay.
that camp. And then, of course, it was a matter of I showed it to my guide, and then he also was worried because the one thing that you don't want is somebody losing their fingers or
Yeah.
losing their
So what's the
extremities.
process like once you realize, okay, now you have frostbite? What do you do next to do your best to kind of save your fingers or save parts of your body that might be have been affected?
First thing is to get out of the mountain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And from there, from high camp, it would normally take about 2 days to come because we have a rest day at one of the camps.
Yeah.
There are 4 camps. Yeah, and this is high camp, the 4th camp. It takes about 2 days to come off the mountain. But they saw this, they showed it to the rangers, and the rangers said best is to get him out as fast as you all can. There's something that they do with my guide said he will never do, he's never done. He's climbed this mountain 11 times.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got a wealth of experience. But there's something called the death march
Okay.
that you do.
Okay.
Yeah, where you go from high camp, you come all the way down to base in one go.
You don't stop at all.
You don't stop,
Okay.
which normally takes 2 days to come down. You do it in one go.
Okay.
Yeah, and he said, I don't do that. Right? But with this, they needed to get me out. And then he put it to the team. And the team was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were so supportive. And they all said, let's do it. Let's get him out of the mountain. Let's do it. Let's do the death march.
Yeah.
And he asked me, are you okay to do it? So I said, well, everybody else is willing to do it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
So how long does the death march take? How
So
long?
it took us 22 hours.
So you got back in less than a day.
Yeah,
Okay.
non-stop. We walked with 60 kilos,
Okay.
about 30 on our back and
a lot of
30 in about a
endurance.
sledge that we are pulling. Yeah, non-stop day and night. We walked through the ice. We climbed down through the ice, and I couldn't even use my hand.
Yeah, because it's
So
gone.
certain slopes that we had to come on, I couldn't even clip on. It was the guy behind me who was clipping on my safety for me.
Okay.
Yeah, and then at one point, it's a 70-degree drop on one side. I tripped.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and I fell off the mountain,
Okay.
and I was hanging on a rope. Oh my
Okay.
God, it was the most scariest moment. It was like in the movies.
Okay.
Yeah, where I came sliding down, I had to stop myself, and then I was hanging on a rope.
Okay. And what what was the experience like at that moment? What was running through your mind when that happened? Like,
Oh gosh, the one thing that came into my mind was first to stop myself,
Mm-hmm.
but through that whole process, I think what was going through my mind is I don't want to die, on this
I
mountain.
know, right? You just conquered this mountain that's beaten you twice. You just want to go
I don't
back
want
down.
it to get me.
No, I feel you. I feel you. And now we spoke about that, right? So, but question that I want to ask is worst case scenario. Like, I'm glad nothing happened to you, and I'm glad you got out of that
Sure.
situation. But worst case scenario, let's say it's life or death. What would a rescue approach be like? What's the option in that point?
So at Camp 3,
Mm-hmm.
there's a ranger station there.
Okay.
And if it is a really bad situation, they could get a helicopter in as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, too. In fact, the guide asked them
Mm-hmm.
if there was any way that I could be evacuated.
Yeah.
But there were some other rescues happening on another mountain somewhere or in a
Mm-hmm.
ski area or whatever, and they said that it'll take a while to try and get the helicopter
Yeah.
in and get the whole process going. So it would be better if you went out. But
Mm-hmm.
yes, you can have a rescue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Because again, like when you said you had to climb down, you think is there no other option? But again, I'm glad that you survived the whole experience. Now, I want to move away from Denali a little bit and take you to your journeys on Everest. What was that approach like when you approached Everest? You said that Denali is a lot difficult compared to Everest, but Everest is also no easy feat, and you've conquered
Oh
that
no.
as well.
Yeah.
So, what was that approach like?
Again, Everest was the one of the first big mountains that we did,
Mm-hmm.
and again, there was a lot of information that we had to gather.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody had even attempted in Sri
Yeah.
Lanka the mountain
Mm-hmm.
before, and we had no one to get advice from. So we
Okay.
had to actually do a lot of research. We had
Mm-hmm.
to talk to people. We had to gather all the information, and one of the things we realized was that there is a chance that we are not coming back.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, on Everest, and that is something that we had to deal with
Mm-hmm.
mentally.
Yeah.
Prepare yourself to know that there is a chance
Mm-hmm.
that things could be
Things could go wrong.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was very challenging in that sense, and it was definitely one of the most challenging things. But I keep saying Denali was more difficult because we don't have the support system
Mm-hmm.
that we had, and actually the conditions are really harsh on Denali.
Yeah.
On
Compared to
Everest, we get
Everest.
yes,
Okay.
Everest. We get to a camp and the tents are up there. They're ready for us, and we can go in. Here, it's just not that.
Yeah.
We have to start flattening this, flattening the snow, the ice,
Mm-hmm.
getting the ground ready, then put up your tents. However tired you are, you have to do that.
Yeah.
It's a process that you have to go through.
Yeah.
And this load that we are carrying,
Mm-hmm.
we have to take and cache it.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're climbing the mountain twice or thrice over,
Okay.
because you go to camp 1
Mm-hmm.
and then you take this load, half of your load, and go and cache it almost near camp 2.
Okay.
Then you climb down again. Then the next day you pick up all your tent and
Everything
your
again.
camp and you move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go and bring the cache from there. Then you
Yeah.
take the cache forward. So it's a process that you
It's a
have to go
process.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of strain on your body as well.
Absolutely.
Carrying that weight as well. So I'm assuming a lot of training goes into that as well. Another question that I want to ask you is about Everest. Once you reach the top, a lot of people talk about the view and how beautiful it is. Can you kind of give us an insight of what that experience was like for you once you reached the top? Well, both mountains actually.
Yeah. So on Everest, I've been there twice, 2016 and 2018. The first time I had to turn back 400 meters before the summit, just there.
Just
But I had to turn 400 meters before the summit because of a error in my oxygen tank. And I remember at that time, the view was what you normally see in all the pictures.
Okay.
You're above the cloud line. Yeah, like going in a plane, you're above the cloud line, and all you see are the peaks, the 8,000-meter peaks sticking out, the 7,000 and 8,000-meter peaks sticking out. Yeah, and it's just like a sea of clouds, and then you see these mountain peaks. But the second time when I went,
Yeah.
it was the best day they had had in some 15 years.
Okay.
There was not a single cloud in sight.
Okay.
On both sides, it was 360 degrees. So one side is China, one side is Nepal,
Okay.
and not a single cloud. And I saw the most amazing thing that blew me away. I saw the curvature of the earth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that just completely blew me away. And I suddenly realized I am standing on the top of the world, looking down at it.
Yeah.
It put things into perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just one of those moments. Yeah, and even on Denali, yeah, once you got there, it was it was fairly clear, but all you see on Denali is just the mountain range. It's just mountains and mountains and mountains of ice. That's all you see, and it was beautiful. Yeah,
I
it was
can
absolutely
imagine.
spectacular.
I can imagine. So, Johan, would you say that's what motivates you to take this challenge on? Like, what motivates you when you're, at camp 1 or 2 and you're gone through a couple of days of climbing the mountain? What motivates you to keep going forward?
So it is your goal of getting to the summit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that just keeps you going, and you somehow make up your mind. Whatever difficulties are, whatever the conditions are, you will keep pushing as much as you can.
Yeah.
There might be times that there were many times that I thought, oh my gosh, can I actually do this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was feeling tired, and there are lots of other emotions that come in. The final day, because I had already been at high camp, and I didn't know what the rest of the journey was like.
Yeah.
So for me, it was also exciting, but it was also scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, to see whether I could actually make it to the top. Because
Yeah.
they told me it was between 8 and 10 hours just to get to the summit. Yeah, and that, I think you have a bit of fear as well, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then you don't get ahead of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
And
And I mean, that's part of it, the journey, right?
absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that's probably what motivates you to keep going. And now I have a few more questions. One
Sure.
being, do you have any regrets in terms of your journeys on your adventures?
Not really. I don't think I have any regrets in what I have done. Just that you sometimes wonder, could I have done things differently?
Yeah.
Yeah. For instance, Aconcagua, we climbed it the first time. And I think we selected the wrong route.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So that would be something that you know, recollect later on, and you wonder, should I have done it differently?
Done it differently, made
Yeah.
it easier on yourself.
Exactly.
Okay.
To make it to the top. So there are a few things like that, but I don't think I have any regrets about doing anything
Yeah.
that I have done up to now. And every time that I have gone, whether I have made it to the top or not, I count that as an experience.
Yeah.
And it is a huge learning process. There's so much that you learn out of it. And to me, the whole climbing, or every single journey that I have been on,
Yeah.
is an absolute humbling process.
Yeah.
It really humbles you to realize that you are so small in this world, and
Yeah.
there's so much. Everything else is so overpowering sometimes.
Yeah.
So it really is a humbling process.
Lovely. So, do you take your experiences and apply them to your day-to-day life? The discipline that you have to maintain when you take on this challenge, do you apply them, or what do you apply into your day-to-day life?
Absolutely, everything, every experience, I use it. Yeah, and especially you spoke about discipline.
Yeah.
That is something that you really need when you take on a challenge like this.
Yes.
To discipline yourself, to keep your focus. There are days, sometimes I don't go out.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 3 months before a climb, I don't go out
Okay.
much. Sometimes I go out a lot with my friends, but I cut down everything because you have to be consistent. I have to be out there at 4:35 in the morning to start training.
Yeah.
And if I go out, I compromise on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got to really keep your focus and be really committed, I think, to what you do. And that's something that is very, very important in whatever we take on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
commitment. People ask me, how do you have the time to do this? You're working, you do this, you're climbing mountains and all that. I think if you are committed enough, you have the time to do it. You have to make the time.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and don't make excuses.
Wise words indeed. Definitely wise words indeed. So what's next for you, Johan? What next challenge can we expect to see you conquer?
So I'm definitely going to attempt Aconcagua
Okay.
and complete that.
And where is this mountain?
This is in Argentina.
Okay, in
Yeah,
Argentina.
And, it's the South American continent. That's the only continent that's left. I've been there twice before. Yeah, last time it was just 250 meters away from the summit. Yeah, between 200 and 250 meters. We were turned around because there was a miscommunication, and there was a turnaround time, and they said that we couldn't go on any further. So I will be attempting that the end of the year.
Yeah.
But why I'm doing it at the end of the year is because I've got another challenge that has been thrown my way.
Okay. Can we speak about this challenge a little bit?
We can. I think I just spoke about it a few days ago. So I think now I can start talking about it because it has been confirmed. I'm actually going to the South Pole.
Oh, okay. The South Pole. Okay.
Yes, the
So,
southernmost point of the world.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so nobody from here has been there still.
Okay.
And I've been given this challenge by somebody,
Mm-hmm.
a friend of mine who's sponsoring me. He's a Dutch guy.
Okay.
And I'm taking it on.
All right,
Yeah.
lovely, absolutely. So can't wait to hear what adventures and what you see there as well. But thank you so much, Johan, for taking the time to come talk to us about your adventures on Denali, Everest, and your upcoming adventure, the South Pole. I'm super excited for that as well. Hopefully, we can bring you on then as well.
Sure.
Any final words that you want to have to tell the people out there, up and coming mountaineers who want to take on the challenge? Any final words?
Yeah, actually, I think my message is the same, which I have been telling everybody before as well. You know, we all have dreams,
Mm-hmm.
and some of us want to climb mountains.
Yeah.
We all have our own mountains in life,
Mm-hmm.
right? It doesn't have to be a metaphorical mountain, but we all have mountains in
Yeah.
life. Take on the challenge and work towards it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're determined enough, if you have the courage and strength to keep going,
Mm-hmm.
you might come to crossroads, you might
Yeah.
have failures on the way, but pick yourself up
Mm-hmm.
and keep working towards that goal.
All right.
And you definitely can achieve your goal at the end of
All
the
right.
day.
Very inspirational words, Johan. Once again, thank you so much for taking the time to, of course, come and speak to us here. And again, hopefully, we'll have you on after you've conquered the South Pole as well.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show.